What's up, my boomers? It's me, Melanie Mac, here on my new channel, Melanie Mac Go Boom. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me on this wonderful Tuesday at the time I'm recording this. So, I hope you're all having a great day. Today, I'm going to talk about this Twitter thread that kind of came to my attention because the Critical Drinker quote tweeted it. About April O'Neil. They're definitely trying to make her not as pretty anymore. Or sexy, if you will. Y'all know how April O'Neil looks. All right, so let me go ahead and just get to it. So, here we are here. Hold on. My camera, I cannot get this. I think it's because I'm always slightly moving my chair. And so it's a pet peeve of mine. I gotta get it right. All right, so he goes, "Oh, comics industry, why do you hate yourself so?" Now, so in this, it looks like April got her hair cut. She's like, "Stop by the salon on the way home. You like?" Whoa, I'll take that as a yes, Casey. So there's a lot to unpack here, and for multiple reasons. Now, clearly, this is an ugly haircut, okay? I'm just going to be honest. This is an ugly freaking haircut. They try to make her look uglier. That is deliberately what they're trying to do. They're trying to make her look less conventionally attractive, okay? This is definitely gives the, it's in my opinion, the androgynous looking haircut, okay? This isn't, and before I'm going to expound more on this later, but this is not a jab at short hair on women. I will be the first to say I love short hair on women. Back in like the 90s, girls rocked short hair all the time. What's funny is now I notice these days is that they don't as often unless they are identify as like lesbian, bi, some sort of queer spectrum. But used to, straight feminine women rocked short hair a lot, and you don't see that as often now because it's almost like if you have really short hair as a woman, then they're going to put you in a box and they're going to say, "Oh, you must be queer," you know? And so now that's what's kind of, I feel like has happened is that people are so much in their boxes that they're not expressing themselves in different ways because they feel like that's going to put some sort of label on them. Which I think is odd. And, you know, back in the day, like a lot more lesbian girls or whatever, they would have like longer hair, and not that they don't now, but you know, I feel like now everybody is so big on labels that, and they will label you based on something like your haircut, and used to they didn't. So I think now that's why some of the stigma with short hair is what it is. But also there's a difference between a feminine pixie cut and this, which is a lot more of a genderless looking thing here. It's like flat on her head. There's no volume up here at all. It's just not feminine. It's just not feminine. Okay, it's not necessarily butch, but it's just that very androgynous look. Okay, and obviously, let's also state the obvious here. They put some weight on her. She's probably gained a good 40 pounds or so compared to what April O'Neil typically looks like. It's not inherently bad. I mean, she still looks good. I don't really like the baggy shirt because, like, it's kind of covering her curves, because this could work. This body type still could work if she dressed with it and rocked it. And here's the thing is, I'm not even shaming this style so much, but it's just when you take a character who already had an existing, you know, she was more of like that slim, like very thin, but still curvy. But if you want to kind of make it a little more realistic, if you will, you can still style it in a way that doesn't detract from how she used to style herself and all that. Because yeah, this I don't know, this whole thing to me just reads that they deliberately did not want her to look as conventionally attractive as she usually does. Period. Okay? So, I kind of weighed in on this. Now, speaking of the short hair thing, I am not going to show the replies to all the replies to this, because there is a girl that I follow and I have a lot of respect for her, but she chimed in with something I think is just as obnoxious as some sort of like some of the woke stuff. You know what I mean? And that's when you put absolutes on anybody. Okay? And she said a statement of, first let me say this. Don't come for her, because like she's allowed to have her own preference or whatever, but I don't like it. But let me continue first. So I said they purposefully wanted to make April uglier because short hair still looks amazing on many characters when they actually try to make it look good. I mean, you got Catwoman, iconic. I think this version of Catwoman is my absolute favorite. She looks incredible, stunning, gorgeous. And she absolutely rocks this hairstyle. Notice how there's some volume to it. There's some movement to it. It's very feminine, even though it is short. And very cute. Very cute. Cute. And cute. Now, Nana, oh my gosh, I can't even think about this anime. It made me cry so freaking much when I first watched it. So I made this point, right? And I got a reply from this girl on the other end of the spectrum where she said, they're hot girls and that's why they're pulling off the short hair, but they would look better with long hair. I'm trying to remember exactly how she said it, but she basically said, some girls look good with short hair, but all girls look better with long hair. I'm telling you, I'm just like, you're just going on the other opposite end of obnoxious when you say crap like that. I'm sorry. And I know some people want to accuse me of being a grifter because a lot of my content does kind of appeal more to conservative leaning people these days, just because I feel like the woke side has taken over. And so, yeah, I'm always pushing against that. And so what that makes people think is, oh, you're just like pandering to the conservatives and trying to pretend like you're conservative or whatever, even though I did grow up very conservative. But these days I consider myself a libertarian, a little more on the conservative side than not, but I'm still relatively centered. But yeah, when people say stuff like that, it's like, hold up, do not confuse me. And I made this tweet later. I said, I know I'm anti-woke, but don't try to lump me in on the other extreme either. The whole, ew, tattoos, men should not have feelings, or every woman should have long hair ideas are just as obnoxious. I just believe in freedom and not pushing our own agendas on everybody. I will make this abundantly clear, and I don't care who doesn't like this. This is where I stand. Anybody is entitled to believe whatever they want on either side or whatever, but don't let me in on that. Don't try to act like I'm going to buddy with y'all, especially on the ooh tattoos thing, when clearly. Now, that's the thing, is because I, am a little more on the conservative side, or a lot of what I speak out against is like the woke stuff. I get a lot of people from the opposite side, like the far right side, who will complain about my tattoos or act like I ruined myself because of my tattoos, or maybe tell me I'm not ladylike enough and things of that nature. And it's like, okay, you're entitled to think that, but that's not me. So yeah, I do want to point out that I do think that statements that all women should have long hair and all women look better with long hair. Now, I think everybody can have a preference, but I don't like statements like that. I'm not going to even pretend to, because like, I'm sorry, give her this exact same illustration, long hair. To me, it's just, she ain't going to rock it as much. Like, obviously she would still look amazing, but this is her and it looks amazing. And you see this like in real life too, like Natalie Portman, dude. Hold on. I have her like right here. When you got like that killer of a bone structure, or like Audrey Hepburn, same, I truly believe they look better with short hair than they do with long hair. I mean, like those killer eyebrows and the bone structure, just amazing. Look at characters like Joanna Dark. Imagine her with just long hair. It wouldn't look as good. She's rocking this cropped cut. That's my opinion. So I do think while a lot of women do look better with long hair, I think I do. I wish I could pull off this kind of cut more, because I would if I could. But I don't have sharp enough. My features aren't quite sharp enough to pull that off, in my opinion. But just saying, Yeah. Don't lump me in on these extremes, bro. Don't even try, because I ain't about that life, so I'm just setting the record straight right here and now. I just want to get to a point in time where we stop with these extreme type of labels and stuff. So what I don't like from the woke side is, oh, she has a cropped haircut, therefore she must be gay or bi or something, and try to put an identity on her just based on her style. Don't like that. Also don't like the other extreme side, which is basically the exact same thing. Which is basically, oh, she's a woman, so she must have long hair or she's not going to be feminine. So yeah. I guess both sides kind of say the same thing. That's what's so funny when you think about extremes. Is like the extreme woke left and the extreme conservative alt-right, whatever you want to call it, they have the same ideals. They just package it differently. It's hilarious. Now, not completely, but in some ways, it's just like, dude, I can't believe this. I'm arguing with both sides of the extreme, and they're agreeing with each other, even though they hate each other, which is hilarious. But back to like the original topic at hand here. Yeah, this is very clearly not them giving her a fun, sexy pixie haircut. This is them deliberately giving her a very bland, flat, uglier haircut. So let's just kind of get that out there. All right, let me go ahead and read some comments from recent videos. Jay Schartzer says, casting Brie in the studio trying to kill a franchise, even they are tired of making. Changed my mind. They must be like, dude, we've made so many of these movies. Let's just cast Brie Larson and end it. All right, Michael says, censorship is always a mixed bag when it comes to reviews because you're taking something people love and you're changing it. At that point, it ceases to be the thing they once loved, and that makes a lot of sense. I am mostly, almost always against censoring an original art form. I think there can be extremely, extremely rare exceptions. But yeah, I think for the most part, it is typically best just not to. Jester says, it's weird how women are so encouraged by SJWs to be hypersexualized in real life. And yet if they are in video games or anything, it's literally the most horrific thing ever. Melanie rocks. Thank you. And you know what? You're right. And that's what is so obnoxious about the extreme woke side is that they want to encourage girls like straight as soon as they turn 18. It's like, you want to start an OnlyFans and sell pictures of your butthole on the internet? Good for you, girl. They want to act like that's empowering. And don't even get me started on that because I can make a whole other video about that. But I believe in freedom and people doing whatever the crap they want to do. But do I think it's healthy? No. Just like I don't think that alcohol is healthy. But people should have the freedom to drink alcohol if they want. But is it healthy? No. Do I think selling pictures of your butthole on the internet is healthy? No. I don't think anybody who does that kind of stuff wants to do it. There may be some extremely rare exceptions. But usually people resort to that when they need money. And it's honestly very mentally challenging for them to have to do that kind of stuff. I mean, that's typically how it goes. That's my opinion on it. But anyway, I could make a whole video about that. Roger says, I saw somewhere that a person said they would be disappointed if the next one wasn't called Fasten Your Seatbelts or used it in their marketing. I hope Monday is blessed. Thank you. This was so funny to me. Fasten your seatbelts. All right. Cesar says, Lara is a very alpha woman. There's no way. And you know what? She is. I miss that. I miss that so much. I love that alpha woman, Lara Croft. She was so alpha. And they pulled it off in a way where she wasn't a man-hating alpha, but she was just very alpha and very like, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And that's one reason too why I like how that she was so tall and like statuesque and built strong and curvy, is that it did make it more believable whenever she could kick the guys' butts and stuff, because she was as tall as a lot of the guys in the games. And she was just built strong, but also very feminine. So I miss that. All right, this is my first time coming across one of your videos. I really like how you openly express your faith and even have a Bible verse of the day segment at the end of your video. It really made my day. Thank you. Comments like this makes me so happy. Thank you so much. All right, Poison says, love the Bible verses portion of every video. Thank you for your interpretations. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're so kind. Now, let's go ahead and on that note, go into today's verse of the day. I picked Isaiah 22:22, and it says, and I will place on his shoulder the key of the house of David. He shall open, and none shall shut. And he shall shut, and none shall open. Now, this kind of made me think, now there's obviously a lot of context when you read like the whole chapter and stuff like that, but this is when I try to find my verse of the days, I try to think of like, okay, how can I apply this to us and our day-to-day and all that kind of stuff. And this is what I think about in life is there's so many times where there's going to be things that we want in life or things that we didn't know that would be good for us, for example. So there are doors that will constantly be open and closed in our lives, that God will open doors, God will close doors. And I think that it's so important to remind ourselves to just trust God and trust the process whenever stuff like that happens, because there are so many times in our lives that we want something so bad. You may want that job, you want that relationship to work, you want that you want to move somewhere, you want to like uproot your life, you want that house, you want this, that, or the other, it may be. And you just think that that's what's best for you, and you want that so bad. And when that door closes, it can be extremely difficult. But hindsight, man. Hindsight 2020. Later, you'll look and look back and be like, oh, wow, I'm really glad that didn't work out. How many times? How many freaking times has that happened in our lives? It does. Happens so much where I will look back at something from like 10 years ago or 5 years ago or even a year ago and think, thank goodness I didn't get what I wanted in this situation. Thank you, Jesus. Yes. But at the time, I just felt like it was the end of the world when that door closed. And likewise, there are certain things that it's just like, man, I don't want to do this. This isn't what I want to do. I don't want to live here. I don't want to do that, this or the other. And then later you'll realize, oh, this was a part of my calling. And so I think that's very important. Now, obviously, we are given free will. So there are a lot of doors and that you know, ultimately, if God wants to close the door, there ain't nothing you can do about it. But God does give us free will. So I do think that there's a lot of times that we can go through doors that were intended to be closed because we're practicing our free will. And so we are definitely capable of doing things that is not best for our lives. But when we are following God in prayer and reading the Bible, also asking God, hey, please guide me. I will listen to you. Show me if this is good for me or if this is not good for me. Please show me. And then when God shows you, you know, then you have the decision to be obedient or not. And yeah, it's just, I just think this is very important. So whatever it is that is in your life right now that you're going through, and you may have that door that you want open so bad that has been closed in your life, or vice versa. There may be some door opening that you just don't want to do, but you feel like you gotta. Hey, you know what? This is a part of life. Stay in prayer, seek God, and it's not the end of the world. And you're gonna hindsight 2020, you're gonna look back and say everything played out exactly as it should have. So just remember that. All right. Well, there you have it for today's video. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me on this wonderful Tuesday. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. And in the meantime, go boom.